Meet the Mathewsons. They're a dynasty of dealers.
It drives really well.
With a love of classics.
It's only condensation.
In Thornton-le-Dale, gateway to the North York Moors, they auction over 2,000 rare vehicles every year.
42,000, the ready type, the stunning car.
All walks of life. The cars fetch people together.
I'm ecstatic.
Head of the family, Derek.
It's got to be the best job ever, isn't it? We're sort of living a dream.
Trusted lieutenants, sons Paul.
Not everybody's cup of tea.
And Dave.
There's Dad's way. And there's Dad's way.
Keeping them all in check and dealing with the punters, Sarah.
Somebody could ring today with some fabulous vehicle that's been sat in a barn for 50 years. You have no clue.
It's the chase, it's finding it. So you get up every morning thinking, what am I going to find today?
This is a family's love affair with cars that have lived a life.
Someone's cherished a car and loved it, and I think it's just great. I think it's absolutely superb.
A passion that can be turned into brass. On sale this week.
12 miles only, 1981.
Probably the last opportunity to drive a brand new MGB GT.
1969, Morris Minor police cars. Lovely little thing.
She's certainly seen a bit of service. She's been used as a bit of a dumping ground. Oh, heck.
TR7 V8. Oh, what a machine. What a machine this is.
Built at a cost of £100,000.
It's our first time at Mathewsons, and what a fantastic place.
It's the crack of dawn.
What's in the pie, Derek? Sorry, mate? What's in the pie? Toenails.
Good morning, Mathewsons.
Sarah's dealing with a flurry of phone calls following an unusual shipment from Northern Ireland.
Already causing lots of interest. Yeah.
From?
All over.
It's all down to 3 seemingly ordinary cars.
Not unusual to see an MG at Mathewsons, but...
God, no. Hundreds of MGs, John. Hundreds of MGs. But unusual to see these. Yeah, with such low mileage. I think one's 12, one's 17, and one's 112. So, yeah, they're unusual.
That's not thousands of miles. That's actual miles. 3 MGs stored for 35 years, smothered in factory wax.
So effectively, these are new cars?
Yeah. So 1970s cars with delivery mileage, which, yeah, you don't see every day.
The MGs are being sold by the family of J.J. Smith from Ballymena, who passed away recently. Sarah has been arranging the sale with his daughter, Jackie.
But a lovely lady, and I suppose she just wants to see them going to a good home, really, because her dad just loved them, adored them. And I think more than anything, she just wants to see them going to somebody who will love them the same. That's the feeling I get.
The collection is made up of a 1981 MGB GT limited edition.
Yeah, that's fab in there, isn't it? That is just super duper, isn't it?
A 1975 GT Jubilee.
Look at that, you've got the original seat cover still on, John, look. Which is nice, isn't it?
And a Midget from 1979.
I think the little Midget will be the easiest one of the bunch. I haven't taken the lacquer off, but from what you can see, I don't think the Midget will want any paint at all. Yeah, look at that. This would make a stunning looking car.
This is a unique sale for Mathewsons, but Sarah is confused.
Why would you want to keep it in that state? I can understand you preserving a bit of history, but I'd want to get in that car and drive it. What's the point in keeping it locked away?
A bit like you, what's the point?
What's the point in keeping me locked in here? I could be out there causing mayhem.
Is something like this going to cause a lot of interest?
I think they will, yeah, very much so, John. I do. Because of the mileage and because of the history and the story behind them. And the fact that they're both limited edition models, the Bs.
The Jubilee comes complete with a piece of time-warp memorabilia.
November 1977 floor mat. Citroen Diane, Datsun 120Ys. Yeah, that's great, isn't it? Look at that. The Lada, 1500 estate, £2,357 and 26p on the road. Drive away, Lada estate.
Wouldn't drive very far, would it?
No, but at least it got off the forecourt, perhaps. Out of sight, out of warranty.
These oily relics fall into a different category to most of the classics that go through the auction.
If a fully restored GT like that model came through the sale, then the chances are it would probably fetch 10 or 12,000 quid. But it wouldn't be new. This is the thing, this is the subtle difference. So we all know that they want some paintwork, but at the end of the day, you still wind up with a mint new MGB GT, not a mint old MGB GT. And that, to me, is worth a lot of money.
A restored car never drives the same. No, never does. I think they'll do 15,000 quid each, these two. Yeah, and the little midget, I think, will do a bit less.
Ian Luddington, Ian Whitchurch and Mark Law are fully paid up members of the Midget and Sprite Club.
My car is a 1958 Austin Healey Mark I Sprite, which was the precursor to the Midget. It's very, very good. It's been properly restored, but it is used. It does get cleaned. It does get bounced underneath on the roads around here because it is quite bumpy.
Ian and his friends are keen to see the new old MGs at Mathewsons. But really, it's just an excuse for an outing.
This is a 1967 Mark III MG Midget. It took me 3 years to clean, repair, replace, polish and re-chrome and assemble it.
MG Midget 1500. A lot of enthusiasts aren't keen on this model because it's got the huge black rubber bumpers. But you usually just drive around with a grin on your face. They're so much fun to drive.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
So these have never been registered at all, have they? Well, if you want one of these, where would you find another? This hood, because it's not had UV exposure, it's not perished. Which would be very unusual for something this age, wouldn't it?
And this is what you got in your toolkit, plastic bag, unopened.
Definitely interesting.
Should they be kept as they are, or should they be brought back to running condition?
Oh, you're going to bring that back to running condition without a doubt, absolutely.
Well, my opinion is it's a shame to take them out of the wax, and because there's so many of them in excellent condition that's been restored, it might be nice to keep that how it is now.
It's the nearest the Midget and Sprite Club have ever come to a full-blown argument. Maybe they'll agree on which car to buy.
So I'd like to say all three. They all tell a story, but I've always been a midget man.
I'd have the GT, I think, the limited edition for touring then.
Well, I think we've all been to a lot of car shows, seen a lot of shiny cars. We've all been out and bought a car and seen some absolute rusty rubbish. But to see the unprepared original car,
just as it
you don't get that very often.
No.
On the moors above Bingley in West Yorkshire, there are rumours of a crime. The local police have failed to come up with any leads and have been somewhat hamstrung in their efforts. And it's hardly surprising as their crime-fighting vehicle is stuck in time. But the biggest offence of all is the state of lawyer Pam Leadbeater's garage.
This is Dixie, my Morris Minor police car. She's 50 years old this year, and she was the patrol car for Kirkintilloch in Scotland. Oh, I can see her wheels. So yeah, I believe it's a genuine thing. Certainly seen a bit of service. She's been used as a bit of a dumping ground. Unfortunately, she got put away into the garage and then she never really got out again. I'm a bit of a hoarder and I like to keep everything because at some point it usually does come in handy. There. Ready for blue light action?
The cuddly panda car with its two-tone blue and white paint became the friendly face of community policing from the mid-60s. Hugely popular amongst damp police officers with worn-out shoes, less so with suburban cat burglars. There were plenty of other panda choices, but the Morris Minor was the people's panda. The force was not alone in adopting the reliable Moggy. It was the trusted car of the district nurse, and in Denmark, the Minor is known as Hordemoder Bill, the midwife car. Paul will be arriving shortly to help extract and value the forgotten Moggy. 3 years ago, Pam paid $5,000 for it.
I don't actually think that's an awful lot of money for the fun that we've had. Let's see what else there is in those. Oh, that could be useful. Look, that's the cranky handle thing, isn't it? We might need that later on. This here, couldn't it? That could be the crank handle.
Are you sure you've not been out committing crime with all this stuff in the boot?
Yes, I certainly have enough to be charged with going equipped here, but I don't have the intent, so I think we should be all right.
And how do you think they're going to get it out of here then?
Well, that's going to be interesting. It's supposed to be an electric garage door that goes up when you just press this button over here, and unfortunately it just doesn't. So you can't really get in or out very well.
Paul's arrived, looking forward to another straightforward extraction.
Oh my word, he knows what he's doing with that trailer, doesn't he?
Hello, Pam.
Hi,
How are you?
nice to meet you.
I've made it at last.
Yes, fantastic, thank you.
Let's have a little look.
Be prepared. It's a bit of a clambering over situation,
right.
But if you want to have a little peep, she's there. Some of the police I know argue about whether it's legal or not, so...
That's right, yeah.
So that's obviously on a magnet, and so is that.
Yes. That's great. And I'm guessing it's not been out for a little while then?
2 years.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. Helmet. It's a bit little, that one.
It is.
I don't think it's... And how do we get it out then?
Well, we haven't tried the electric garage door. It doesn't work every time.
Well, let me go down there, because it might need a bit of help to go up or something.
Yes. Right, tell me when to press the button and we'll see what happens.
Well, whenever you're ready, really.
Oh! Hey, look at that! It went up! On its own!
On its own.
Fantastic. And look, we can see her now in all that dustiness.
Yeah, do we push it out there?
Ooh! Ooh!
It's not actually that free, but it is free.
You are so strong.
Well, you get used to it. Goes with the job, you know.
Oh, it's a bit icky underneath.
There she is.
She's so dirty.
It is. Dust sheets, you know.
Yeah, I look at all that lovely space. Well, it's not really lovely, is it? But it's space. Poor neglected little thing. Oh, bless. What sort of reserve shall I put on? I won't want less than 3.
No. I was half expecting you to say 3.5 to 4.
Right, I'll put 3.
And any special notes, if there's anything that we should know that you know.
Well, like she's called Dixie.
There you go. Dixie.
It's from Dixon and Dot Green. But she's a girl.
Heard of it, but
oh,
no.
Come on.
No.
Oh.
I'm a youngster, you see.
So sad. Yeah, just making me think of all the fun times that we'd had.
There you go.
It's a
Nice to meet you.
Oh.
Paul will do his best to find the panda a good new home.
I would like somebody that can use a bit more regularly than we could, because she does make people smile, and it would be nice to see her out and about on the road a bit more than we did. Is this still the right thing to do? Can't change my mind now anyway, it's gone.
It's the day of the auction.
OK, all done. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thought I already qualified for discount.
Oh, do you really? Why, it's because you're so handsome? Yeah. Obviously.
We've never ever been here before. This is our first time at Mathewsons, and what a fantastic place.
Obscure pieces of auto memorabilia are being snapped up.
I've got a windscreen for a Morris 8 Tourer.
Some 1960s Mini Cooper wheels.
Look at that, eh? Lovely.
But it's the delivery mileage MGs from the 70s and 80s that are causing the biggest stir.
Fantastic project, bit of British history, great car. Lovely to see them like this.
Mark Royal is here from a dealership in Scotland.
You're not going to find 3 delivery mileage MGs sat anywhere else in the country today, so hence the drive down, and hopefully we'll bid and buy them.
And he's decided if he bags any of these cars, that factory wax is going to have to go.
We'd have to clean that up and obviously make it into a right car.
Well, the covers are still on it, you see. Yeah.
Here for the auction, Mako. Happy to give advice if needed.
I was a BMC apprentice. One of my jobs was to wash them, believe it or not, with paraffin.
It's your opportunity today to buy a brand new, unused MGB GT Jubilee, which you will probably never actually have the chance to do again. Done 112 miles from you, which is obviously delivery mileage. Start me on it. Where are we going to be? 8,000, 8,000, we're away. 8,000, 8,5, 9, 9,000, 9,000 pound, 9,000 pound, 9,5, 9,005, 9,005, 10. Should have started here. 10,000, 10,000 pound, 10,000 pound. Submitting then 10,000 pound, 10,000 pound. Are you all done? 10,5, 10,005, 10,500, brand new MGB GT Jubilee. 10,500, 10,5.
I think it's got a catch, it's broken. Well done.
Sold to regular MG buyer and classic car dealer Rob Sturrock. Now eyeing up a slightly less user-friendly Morgan.
Oh dear, oh dear.
All you have to do, Rob, is take the top off the windshield.
Climb out, yeah.
Selling on the limited edition Jubilee should be an easier task.
MG customers are normally sort of first-time buyers or basically people that have had MGs for years and years and years and just love the product. He's going to sell.
12 miles only, 1981, limited edition MGB GT. Same stable, of course. Start me on it. Where do you want to be? Whereabouts? Come on. 7,000, 7,000, 7,500, 7,500, 8,000 pound. 8,500, 8,500 at the back. All submitted. 9,000. Submit them from you. 9,500, 10,000. He says. 11,000. Paul's phone. 11,000. 11,250. Both out there, guys. Out on the other phone. 11,250. Submitted. 11,250.
Sold to a phone bidder. Now, with one remaining, it's probably the last chance ever to buy a 40-year-old, almost factory fresh MG.
1979 Midget, cosmetically probably the best out of the lot. Well, it's a start. £7,000 the Midget, 7,000, 7,000, 758, 8,000, 8,500, 8,500 with a little lad, 8,500 this side, submitting it. Don't forget it's brand new, 72 miles, 8,500, 8,750, 8,750 there, 9,000, standing £9,000. 9,250, 9,500, 9,500 he says. 9,750, 9,750 on the phone, 10,000 pound. All done, £10,000 and going, £10,000 all done, last time looking round, are you finished? 10,000, 10,000, thanks for your bidding. Lost my phone.
Sold to Danny Vernon and a future investment for his son George, now one of the country's youngest members of the classic car fraternity.
We like the British Leyland cars, and we have a collection of very low mileage cars and delivery mileage cars.
George has a plan. But first, a meeting with Jackie Scott, daughter of JJ, the man responsible for storing all three of the MGs.
I know you said they was all parked in the same building for 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah, all in my dad's workshop, so well looked after.
We'll send you a photograph. I'd appreciate that, that'd be great.
What are you going to do with it now that you've got it?
Keep it original.
Well, he's just answered.
Oh, wise boy.
Keep it as it has been, and obviously look after it and cherish it, along with the other cars that we have.
Because you could restore it and drive it.
No, yeah. I mean, luckily in this business, and this classic car business that we're all in, people are now understanding that they can only ever be original once. And that is where the true value lies.
After a very busy auction, it's time for a rejig round the garage. Space is at a premium. Accurate manoeuvring, essential. But on the forecourt, a peculiar vehicle has arrived.
Don't even ask. It's a father thing. He likes things that are different, doesn't he?
Andrew Sefton is the current owner.
It's a merry-go-round, octopus, obviously 8 seats. Need a little bit more room, all hand-painted cars. Lovely job.
A working 80s fairground ride with its own generator and flashing underskirt lights.
It's not everybody's cup of tea, but someone will fancy it in the back garden as a toy, or just for the grandkids to play on, or whatever. Or just to even say they've owned a fairground ride. Only thing I think would finish it off is a nice fiberglass octopus on the top, just to finish it off, and maybe some bits of gold inlay on the red.
Its arrival is close to finishing off Paul and Dave as well. This is not their idea of fun at the fair.
Why would you? Useless gangling thing, isn't it?
Getting it out of the way, though, does mean that Paul can now concentrate on Dixie, the 1969 Morris Minor police car.
It's been stored for a couple of years, so I'm not really expecting it to burst into life immediately, to be honest. But I just thought if that fuel pump will pump a bit of fuel through, then I'd give it a go and see what we got, really. Nothing to lose, have we?
Emergency Paul. 999 Paul.
But after Paul's brief attempt at resuscitation, there's still no output.
Won't press the foot brake, mate. Hang on a minute. It's got handbrake, hasn't it? Yeah, as you are. Keep left a bit, mate. Yeah. Right hand a bit. Yeah, go for it. Look at that. There you go. Look at that, he knows his way around the moggy. You're used to seeing them blue light things behind you, aren't you? Yeah.
Apparently, Derek was never stopped by a police panda car, but someone did once give him a theory on its colour scheme.
Yeah, this guy came in and he said, you know how that white door and blue body and that came about? He said they bought so many of each and swapped the doors over. And I'm not sure that I can believe that, really, because I've only ever seen them in this colour. I've never, you can't open the door now. You're going to get out and chase someone, you've had it, you've got to go out the other side. But I can't believe that was the case. The colour's actually a little bit wrong, I think, really, but anyway. And I think it's great. Bit of novelty, isn't it? Bit of funniness. And I don't suppose it'll make a fortune, really. It will sell. Bit of rock round it, as we can see.
Shifting a car like this needs a good understanding of the market.
Well, I think it suits them guys that have got the old fireman and policeman fetish, haven't they? They would never pass the medical, but they might just get themselves a replica car. All they want now is a uniform. In fact, there's a uniform down there, as it happens. There is a fireman's uniform down there. Oh, a two-tone upholstery, that's a rare one. Look, can you see that? You don't see too many of them.
So that's an original feature as well?
No. Someone's found a couple of seats where the other ones have been buggered, and they put a couple of red seats in. That's all they've done there. And but it has got the burglar alarm. There it is. That's the burglar alarm. If you get hold of the burglar, give him a bash with that, and he steadies him up a little bit and put him in the back seat. Ideal, isn't it? Have your own vigilante group with that, couldn't you?
Also out in the yard, a perfectly acceptable car with a loyal following, the TR7. They were a bit underpowered, so Triumph produced a few with a huge V8 engine. But in the boardroom, Derek's just got wind of a modified version of this classic that would leave the standard models buried in its dust.
It's a fully rally-prepared, ultra-competitive TR8. Apparently it was built on the lines of a Tony Pond car, which he was works driver as far as I'm aware. Built at a cost of £100,000, £120,000, somebody said.
This beast of a machine is owned by Hugh Evans, who runs a successful engineering firm in Malton.
Been rallying all my life since the age of 18. It's a very expensive hobby.
Hugh drove for Subaru in the British Rally Championship in 2008. And he took this car to second place in its class in the Welsh Rally Championship in 2015.
The body, apart from the arches, is totally as it was. The shell has been strengthened. There's roll cages, as you can see from here. Even if we roll, the roof won't cave in on us. So safety is paramount. We also got these bucket seats and harnesses, which locks you firmly in the seat, so you hopefully don't get whiplash injuries. We also have fire extinguishers, which automatically comes on if we crash. We put this lovely, powerful engine in it. 320 brake horsepower V8 engine, same as they had in the days, but much more engineered to a high spec. It's got what we call quad carbs. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 carburetors on every side. We have a removable steering for health and safety reasons again, because it is quite tight to get into this car, as you can see. Steering wheel on, and you're ready to go.
Hugh has decided his future lies in fly fishing. He's hoping to get around 40 grand for his ultimate spec TR7.
It's a shame that I've got to let it go, really. I'm leaving rallying behind. It's just age that's brought it to an end. But literally, I've got to force myself not to buy a rallying magazine so that I don't get tempted and do something else.
Auction day. Hundreds of people have turned up. It's called Lucy on the Hop.
So many people here. Sold out catalogues, 10 past 11.
360, 80, 380, 400.
Dixie, the Morris Minor pursuit vehicle, seems to be causing some interest.
I like them. I think they're superb cars. Comfortable, easy to drive. I just think it needs a little tender loving care. It deserves to live again.
A friend of mine had one. I think one of the faults was, I think the wheel used to fall off.
So you're familiar with this car?
Oh no, not this. No, I've sat in it a few times.
1969, Morris Minor police cars. Lovely little thing, unusual little thing, strange little thing. They affectionately known as Dixie. Right, start me on it. Where are we going to be? Come on, who's got 2,000 quid for it? £2,000 anywhere? 1,000, we're off. 1,000, 12.50, 13, 50, 15.50, 16, 50, 16.50, 1,650. 1,700, 17, shaking his head, 1,700 on the right. Both out, 1,700, provisional 1,700.
Owner Pam has already reduced her reserve, but it's still £500 off the mark. But shortly after, a phone-bidding Samaritan places a cheeky offer.
Oh, there's always a bit of negotiation. You've got to be flexible. Yeah, of course you have. Or more importantly, the vendor has, really, not us. I mean, we've got to talk with the vendor and say, you know, we've got a gentleman that's interested around the whatever mark. I know it's £1,000 less than what you were hoping, but, you know, what do you want us to do? And we'll do whatever he wants us to do.
In the end, £2,000 was enough to bail out Dixie. And the Moggy was dispatched for a new life in Hertfordshire. After a successful auction of the 3 Irish MGs, one of them has ended up in Leicestershire, and it's in good company.
XKs, Bentleys, various famous owners and things like that. We've got Jensen that was owned by John Bonham of Led Zeppelin.
Adrian Burr and Lee Harris's newest arrival is the MGB GT Limited Edition.
The wax has been stripped off and we've got back down to the original paint. There's no rot on the car at all. As you can see, all the wings and the sills are absolutely fantastic. It's as new, really. The interior had never been sat in. All the carpets were fine. The engine moved freely, so there's no major issues with the car apart from the bodywork needs a cosmetic respray.
The work is being done at master mechanic Ed Watson's enviable garage.
This is a Jaguar E-Type 3.8 straight 6. This is a cylinder block off an XK 150. This is a WO Bentley Speed 6. This is a Ferrari V12. We're currently stripping down, ready for a rebuild.
Ed keeps in touch with other experts, and one of them knows this car backwards.
Ed's located the guy who was the original British Leyland paint shop manager, and he also knows the exact mix or the exact consistency of the paint that was used on the LEs, so we're waiting for him to do the spray job on it and hopefully put a little bit more than BL did originally. They only used to waste about half a cup on this, so we need to put a nice thick covering of the original paint on, so it's a great story for the restoration of it.
But this is a personal project for Adrian. He's bought it for his wife. Well, sort of.
It was my first car, and I went courting with my wife in it. It just came up, and I thought, well, if I'm going to spark her interest in classic cars, maybe getting the one she used to like that when I had it as my first car, and it was a lot of nostalgic memories, and hopefully she'll enjoy driving it when we get it. If she doesn't like it, we can always go back to Mathewsons, can't we?
One of Paul and Dave's least favourite vehicles eventually went under the hammer.
Fairground, octopus merry-go-round. Good money to be earned out of these.
Derek, ever the entrepreneur, was always impressed with it.
You're missing a money earner here. I'm going to sell it provisionally. You're both out, £2,000.
But the highest bidder, Warwick Romans, won't be using it for profit.
I bought this Walser
to go to shows and galas, sponsor the money what I take back to help the heroes. That's the idea. So if you just visualise that, you get 12 children on here and you charge them £1 a piece. You're there for 4 or 5 hours. You'll soon get a few quid for air ambulance or cancer research or something like that, or all for a good cause, you know what I mean? It doesn't look as though it's been knocked about though, does it? I mean, say, oh, checker plate, you know what I mean? I wouldn't have thought this has done a lot of work, to be honest with you. Yeah, very happy, Dave. I'm quite happy with the subject bid of 2,000. The trailer on its own had fetched that.
A few weeks later, and having had a health and safety check, the Octopus was ready for action.
We've had to do things to it. One of the chairs collapsed. 90% of the nut and bolts wanted changing. Not because there were anything wrong with them, but they were rusty, because it had obviously been stood a while. As far as the mechanics on the turntable and on the spindles, everything was sound. This stabilises the machine, these bars that go from one arm to the other. So I'm checking to see if they're tight and that the chair works.
A gang of local test pilots has arrived.
Right, she's gone up a notch.
Cranked up the speed a bit.
Yeah.
All is good though. This is familiar machinery for Warwick.
I actually worked on a fairground from being 15 years of age, full fairs on Scarborough Front. Couldn't test it any better than that. Chuffing hell, the way they've jumped about it should have been wrecked by now. Happy days, yeah.
As for the fully prepared TR7 V8 rally car, even Ford fanatic Dave could appreciate it.
It's great, isn't it? Isn't it fab? I think it's absolutely fab. It's a TR7 with a massive V8 in the front. Yeah, 3.9 I think they are, or this one is. V8, yeah, look at that for an engine. But I'm reliably informed by those that own them that they're an absolute handful. They're an absolute pig, yeah. There's a local rally guy, a bit of a character, a well-known guy called Yuck. And he said he's had a lot of cars as Yuck, and he said it's the worst rally car he's ever had. You either really gel with it and get on with it, or you don't. And I think there's only a very small percentage of people who can actually get on and gel.
On the day of the auction, big interest from the Rally Club fraternity.
I've seen it out and about. When you go to historic rallying, every other car's a Mark II Escort, and we see something like this, it's different. It'll be worth quite a penny or two, that I would think.
TR7 V8, oh, what a machine. What a machine this is. Absolute fortune spent on this machine. Very, very successful car. Start me on it. Interest on the books. Whereabouts we're going to be? Where? Come on. 20, 22, 22, 4, 26, 26, 26,000. £26,000 submitted. 28, 28,000 on my left. 28 is the 9. 29, 30, 30,000 standing. 30,000, 31, 32. Back in. 32, 32, 33. Best way to buy one. I dread to even think about doing one. 33, 34, 34 he says, 35, 35,000. Provisional 35,000 in the doorway. 35, thank you very much for your bidding, chaps.
The highest bidder, David Appleby, and his under-reserve offer accepted.
Debit card, sir, yes?
Yes, debit card. And the TR7 V8 soon joined some very exclusive stablemates in Northamptonshire. Ex-military aircraft engineer David was also a successful rally driver. He now runs a company preparing top-end race cars.
This is the latest Jaguar GT4 F-Type, which we've ran in British Championship this year for Invictus Games. Done very well, podiums and in the Pro-Am series. It's a quick car, quite a tool actually.
David started his rally career in a TR8.
To find a TR that's not rusted out, shall we say, is very difficult. And to find one that's been built to a rally car spec is very difficult. There's very few of them around. You know, maybe a handful in the country, if that.
The plan is to rally this car again, and in a place like this, they were always going to find yet more things to modify.
Got rid of this fiberglass bonnet and put a steel bonnet back on, keeping it in period. Altered the brake system, the reservoirs, made the cold air boxes in for it, renewed all the brake pipes. Ignition system we've changed a bit and upgrading that. It's nice to work on this, it's quite therapeutic. It's old school, it's different to the modern cars totally. It's nice and simple.
Panda car Dixie didn't sell straight away at auction, but she caught the attention of the appropriately named Gary and Lynn Skidmore, a couple with a passion for police pursuit vehicles.
That is the new Hertfordshire rapid response vehicle. It seemed in really good condition, and also it just reminds me of my youth, really. I can remember these cars, although it was a long time ago. When I was young, I was walking to school one day and there was a lady trying to start one with a starting handle, which always brings back fond memories for me because she had the starting handle up the exhaust rather than through the front. And I had to go over and give her a hand with it, so it's just one of those things that stuck in my mind, and I'm sort of always anchored after having one, just as a little bit of nostalgia.
My granddad had one actually, so it's quite nostalgic for me.
He was quite a bit older than me, though.
Well, he was quite a bit older than you, yes, yeah.
I've always been a fan of the Blues Brothers film, and in that they use a 1974 Dodge Monaco police car, so I've got one of those, and which we take to shows. And I thought it might be a good idea if I get an English police car for Lynn to drive, something a little bit more sedate.
Too sedate at times, probably.
Yeah, and it's not exactly a rapid response vehicle. The engine in it's only 1000cc, so it's about the same as the wiper motor probably in the Dodge. So it's the ideal vehicle for her, really. OK, WPC Skidmore, let's fire up the rapid response vehicle. We can have his and hers police cars.
Yes, yeah.
And do a little bit of the Keystone Cops, which should be quite good fun. And also there was an ulterior motive because for a long time I've wanted to see Lynn in a WPC uniform, and I thought that might be a good way of doing it.
Not so sure about the uniform, but there you go.